Part 22. The Lucky Bag is Reborn with Space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 211. Chapter 211 Without a Trace. Seems to be. Fang Piashong's answer made everyone feel relieved, and in this way they eliminated suspicion. Look, Auntie, we all came back together just now. It is impossible for anyone to enter this room early. As soon as we came in, we saw that we didn't have time to call you. If you just come in, it must have nothing to do with us. Several people are also aggrieved. Let's talk about living in the same house and being treated like thieves. Who would want to do that? Let's do it. Where is your production captain? I'll go find him. This matter can't be left alone. The thief can steal Fang Piashong's things today. The things you bring back next time won't be safe either. You can't just indulge him like this again and again and let this thief become lawless. Yehua brought so many things, which was more than 2 months' salary. How could she be willing to lose everything all at once? Fang Piashong must have nodded. He definitely couldn't let the things his mother brought him take advantage of that thief. Yes, you have to contact the police. Find such a thief and send him to the police station directly to give him a few years' sentence. Let him steal things again and steal them from us educated youths. Fang Piashong's words made someone's heart sink. Others naturally agreed in order to avoid suspicion on themselves. Zhang Chaoyang came in. Everyone lived in the courtyard of the same dormitory. Naturally, they could hear the noise from the other side. It would be unreasonable if they didn't come over to take a look. What's going on here? Why are you making so much noise? Others immediately explained the matter clearly to Zhang Chaoyang. Boss, Fang Piashong's cabinet was broken into. He said that the cabinet was still in good condition when he came back, but now as soon as we come in, the cabinet is like this and everything in it has been lost. Zhang Chaoyang walked over and lifted the cabinet door with his hands. The lock on the cabinet had indeed been pried open, and the contents in the cabinet had been turned around. Looking at it like this, most of the things Yehua brought yesterday were taken away by someone. Auntie, since the effort was lost only for a short while, it must not be an outsider, because you can definitely see outsiders coming in at this time, coming in and out. I think it should be one of our own, otherwise, let's check internally first. After all, so many things were stolen, and there was no way there would be no traces. There are so many things that have to be put away. I guess it is in someone's cabinet, so if everyone agrees, I will open everyone's cabinet and check it out. If there is any suspicion, let's eliminate everyone's suspicions first. If it was done by an outsider, it would be considered as a way to clear everyone's name. Zhang Chaoyang said this because he certainly wanted to resolve the matter privately. After all, if a thief happened to their small group, it would be too embarrassing to tell anyone about it. And he had a hunch that this kind of thing might really be done by their educated youths. If this matter really comes to the production team leader, the face of these educated youths will be completely humiliated. In the future, I am afraid that all educated youths will be criticized by others and suspected that there are thieves among them, so this matter must be dealt with internally. Yehua also nodded, okay, you can check it out yourself first. I am an outsider and it is not convenient for me to intervene in this matter. How to check specifically, I'm afraid Zhang's Hiking has to find a way to solve it. Yehua used her brain. She heard Zhang Hongmei say that Zhang Shaiyang's family was very well connected. If we can take this opportunity to get closer to Zhang Chaoyang and Fang Piashong, they will definitely have such a relationship in the future. Since we share will and woe, why don't we help? Who knows who can use whom? Zhang Chaoyang immediately found 2 people who were close to him, and searched the cabinets in each room. The first thing he searched was the cabinets of all the educated youths in Fang Piashong and his family. They opened their cabinets. The contents of each cabinet are actually clear at a glance. No one can tell whether there are extra things. It looks like they don't have one in their house. When he searched all the other houses and found that there was nothing in everyone's cupboards, Zhang Qiaoyang felt relieved. It seemed that it was not the educated youth who did it. As long as it was not the educated youth, it would be okay to cause a big problem. After all, their educated youth suffered a disadvantage, and the production team knew it and could take precautions in the future. The matter was brought to the attention of production captain Li Dehua. Looking at the results of this year's work, Li Dehua was still satisfied that the autumn harvest was finally approaching. After the household-based output contract became a small collective, it seems that people are quite motivated to work. After all, it is related to their own interests. No one is lazy. After several inspections, he is still confident about this year's harvest. It seems that this year will be a bumper harvest. I am very happy. Not only can I pay the mission grain this year, but I am afraid that half of the remaining grain can be used to return grain to other people's forest farms. In this case, their burden is greatly reduced. I'm afraid he can still be commended by the county. This means that they have caught up with this disaster year, and they have a good chance. Otherwise, it would be very difficult for their farm to be praised. As a production captain, I have not won an award in the county for so many years. He really wants to be called an advanced worker. It is also worthy of my hard work on the farm for so many years. The people here were very happy, but the matter of the educated youths came to light here. Hearing that there was a thief on their farm, Li Dehua was very angry. This kind of thing has never happened to them in so many years. This is the first time. If the leaders above know, do they still want to be the production captain? We need to know how to do a good job of ideological work for the people below. This is also one of the jobs of their production team leader. Every day, he talks through loudspeakers about various policies from above, including ideological education. Just to let the people down there do their jobs honestly, but now it's good, a big case happened here. It is a big or small matter that people from the city brought so many things and had them stolen. Li Dehua convened a meeting of the entire farm to ask everyone to prove to each other what the other person was doing at this time. The problem is that after searching again and again, everyone has proved that they have not appeared in the educated youth area at this point. It seems as if they appear out of nowhere and these things are lost. At the end of the investigation, no reason was found. It shows that this thief is really smart. Yehua and Fang Piashong had no choice. The whole farm held a meeting, and the two mother and son were surrounded by people like thieves. After all, there was a thief in the farm, and everyone's face was disgraced. Many people looked at the mother and son differently. After all, there was a thief on a farm. When word spreads about what others will think of their farm, other people will also be treated as thieves. The problem is that this thief did it so cleverly that no one noticed it. End of this chapter. The lucky bag is reborn with space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 212. Chapter 212. The thief shouts to catch the thief. I said to Fang Piashong, so many people can't find any evidence, who broke into your cabinet. But at that time, you, mother and son, were the only ones on the farm. Could it be that you directed and acted in a thief called Catch the Thief? Some people were very angry. There had been no thieves on their farm for many years, but now there were suddenly thieves? Can you not make people angry? Can't find anyone yet, not only can't find anyone. Can't find anything yet. This is too strange. Someone shouted, and immediately everyone's eyes focused on the two of them. That look in his eyes was really questioning. The main reason is that the real thing happened too suddenly. Fang Piashong's face turned red. You are talking nonsense, why should I steal my own things? Yehua of course protected his son. You should be careful what you say. We have the right to hold you accountable for falsely accusing others out of thin air. What does it mean to be out of thin air? We just checked all the cabinets. Although Fang Piashong's cabinet was open, We didn't check Fang Piashong's cabinet, let alone his bed. Please tell me, everyone has proof. The only thing that has not been proved is Fang Piashong and his mother. If it was really not someone else who stole it, then maybe it was really a thief shouting catch the thief. You're talking nonsense. What good does it do us if we cry out to catch thieves? Benefits? Needless to say, everyone knows it. The captain just held a meeting yesterday. The county asked our farm to select a group of educated youth who support border construction and move them there. Who doesn't know about this now? Tell yourself, what are the benefits of doing this? Everyone has eyes. If you have been wronged, the captain will definitely not report you out of compensation, so you will naturally be excluded from the list. The benefits are huge. When I said this sentence, many people nodded. This is well known. Who doesn't know what's at stake in this matter? He was transferred to the border to support construction, but the conditions there were much more difficult than here. And it is extremely difficult to go there and come back. Let alone the city, just want to return to the current farm? I'm afraid that's impossible. After everyone knew the news, they were all thinking of countermeasures and solutions. Who is not breaking his head now and wants to find a way from the captain to avoid this selection? According to this, it is really possible for Fang Piashong to do this. After all, he is the only one who will benefit in the end. The cabinets of other educated youths have all been searched. It can't be because he searched the entire farm and more people in the production team. What's the point? People can't help but doubt Fang Piashong. His mother just arrived yesterday and this incident happened today, and the opportunity was just right. Lee Dae-ho couldn't help but take a look. After all, Fang Piashong had already searched all the previous cabinets in the educated youth point. It is possible to say that someone stole something and gave it to others, but it is actually unrealistic. It is basically impossible to take such a large bag of things without being discovered. According to what the educated youth and Fang Piashong said, the difference is actually only more than 20 minutes. These 20 minutes can hide things quietly from everyone's eyes so unnoticed. It's really not easy. Okay, everyone, please stop talking. If we keep arguing about this matter, there will be no conclusion. Besides, it's getting late today and everyone needs to rest. Let's do this. No matter who secretly took these things, I give him a chance to come to me quietly tonight and admit this mistake. Then I'll just pretend it didn't happen and give him a chance. If no one comes to me tomorrow morning to admit their mistake and explain these things, then don't blame me for being rude. I will go directly back to report to the police tomorrow. At that time, I will let the police comrades search carefully. There will eventually be clues to this matter. Whether he will go to jail or be punished as if he were stealing is not up to me. You might even get a bad record on your file. Therefore, it is better for the person taking things to think clearly and not to cause trouble for themselves. Lee Dae-ho gives people a chance to change their ways. This kind of opportunity doesn't come often, but Lee Dae-ho feels that people are probably here for the quota this time, no matter who it is, even Fang Piashong. You can also give them a chance. After all, you are young, so it is possible that you may fail. After hearing this, people dispersed angrily. After all, the case was not solved for only one day. Every one of us will be looked at with suspicion, and everyone will look like a thief. Fang Piashong and Yehua walked back angrily, while other educated youths who were less educated distanced themselves from him. People were muttering behind. Fang Piashong was so angry that he must be making irresponsible remarks and saying bad things about him. Does it still need to be said? Normally they would just chatter behind his back, just saying bad things. Yehua felt sad when he saw his son being squeezed out by others. He really didn't expect his son to live such a hard life here. She made up her mind and went to find the captain soon. She called the county first and made an appointment with them. She would go there to meet someone tomorrow. She must find a way to transfer her son out. He could not stay here any longer. On the one hand, these people are so repulsive to their sons, and on the other hand, if there is really such a thing as supporting the construction of the frontier, they cannot watch their sons being taken away by others here. Even if there is a 1 in 10,000 chance, I am not willing to accept the consequences. Coming here to go to the countryside is enough to make people worry, thousands of miles away from home. If we go to the border again, it will be fine. She has friends there, and it is said that it is extremely miserable there. Other educated youths had already surpassed the mother and son and returned to the dormitory together. As soon as He Xiong entered the room, he couldn't help but take a look at Fang Piashong's bedding. Everyone sleeps in the big bunkhouse, so everyone's bedding is rolled up when they get up in the morning. In this case, the quilt and pillow are rolled up inside the mattress and placed in the corner against the wall. A neat row, and at night, everyone spreads out the bed. He looked at Fang Piashong's bedding and couldn't help but become suspicious. Fang Piashong's bedding did look a bit unnatural. It doesn't look like they usually stack up, it seems like there are a few extra things stuffed inside. Some people noticed that He Xiong's eyes couldn't help but look straight. There seems to be something wrong with Fang Piashong's quilt. Fang Piashong, who was entering the door, also heard the sound and rushed over immediately. No one among these educated youths defended him just now. When others slandered him, it was better for his comrades to remain silent behind him. As if saying one more word will offend them. What does it matter now? Is it possible that there is a gangster in that nest? Yehua was about to enter the girls' dormitory, but when he heard the words from the boys' dormitory, he couldn't help but follow him quietly. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Lucky Bag is reborn with space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 213. Chapter 213. Let's make peace with the situation. On the big bed in the room, the bedding had been lifted, and a lot of things were scattered out from the bedding. Everyone was staring at those things. Fang Piashong's face turned blue and white, white and blue again. He Xiong's face turned dark. He sincerely regarded Fang Piashong as his friend. Although the relationship between the two of them was not very good, he believed in Fang Piashong in his heart. Otherwise, I couldn't have said that just now, but it's better now. It's really Fang Piashong's call to catch the thief. The thing was clearly hidden under his quilt, but he was shouting like that outside. Everyone in the dormitory was treated as a thief. Even he felt uncomfortable. After all, everyone had a basin of dirty water poured on them. Now it's clear that Fang Piashong's trick has been discovered. Okay, Fang Piashong, how do you explain this? What's going on with these things? Why are they in your quilt? Didn't you say they were lost? If they were lost, they were hidden in your own quilt, causing us all to have cupboards one by one. What do you mean, everyone is treated like a thief? He Xiong was the first to accuse Fang Piashong. He was so angry. I slept next to Fang Piashong. If Fang Piashong had a bad intention and stuffed these things into his bedding, that would be fine. Now I am being regarded as a thief. Not only him, but everyone else in the dormitory was also breaking out in a cold sweat. If Fang Piashong had bad intentions and stuffed this thing into anyone's bedding, no one would be able to explain it. They share a dormitory, and there are 8 people sleeping on the kong. The remaining 7 people all have bad eyesight. Fang Piashong was so anxious that he broke into a cold sweat. I don't know what happened. I didn't do this. How do I know who stuffed this thing into my quilt? You don't know who knows. This thief is really capable. He doesn't steal things to others, but hides them in your quilt. This thief is really discerning. Huh, let's just say they are right. What does thief mean when you catch a thief? This scene of the thief shouting to catch the thief was really skillful. Hurry up and call the captain. This is an injustice to us. Thanks to us for discovering these things. If he hadn't discovered these things, he would have secretly kept himself secret. Who knows the result? Everyone will be regarded as a thief. It's so unfair. Just now, the acting was so realistic that he thought we were all thieves. It turns out that we are all thieves ourselves. Some people rushed out without saying a word. They were looking for the production team leader Lee De-hua. Mainly because they were all filled with indignation. They all felt aggrieved when this matter was exposed, and everyone looked down upon Fang Piashong's behavior. Why are you doing these things? If you don't want to go, you don't want to go. You just want to make yourself a victim and put a basin on someone else's head. This is because I have some cleverness in my heart, and I fooled everyone in the room as if they were fools. Luckily everyone is still here. We were worried about him just now. Yehua saw that things were getting serious. She had been with her son just now, and she knew in her heart that Fang Piashong definitely didn't do this, but she didn't know who did it. Anyway, the matter had reached this point, and everyone thought that it was directed and acted by her son. Play. Hurriedly catch the man who was running out. Don't go, little comrade. Listen to what Auntie said. Fang Piashong definitely didn't do this. No matter who did it, it was probably the thief who saw everyone going to the meeting and was afraid that it would really be found on him, so he stuffed the things arrive at Fang Piashong. Even if the property is returned to its original owner, you can't assume that Fang Piashong directed and acted it just because he just heard and believed it. There was no need for him to do this. Yehua pushed the person into the house and came in himself. Seeing the messy pile of things on the Kong, the corners of his mouth twitched, and he knew in his heart that this thief was really capable and had a lot of tricks up his sleeve. He had done a good job in this drama. And he made his own son miserable. Auntie, what is right and what is wrong? Let the production team leader give us an explanation. How can we behave like this if this continues? Everyone in this room has been treated as thieves today. We are all anxious and worried about Fang Piashong. We are still crying. He yelled and went to search other people's cabinets with everyone. Now is a good time to create something for him. Regardless of whether he directs or acts on his own, there must be an explanation for this matter anyway, and we can't let us guys bear this reputation in vain. No one is doing it. I said it was not me who did it. Fang Piashong's eyes were red. It was the first time he had been wronged, and he couldn't explain it clearly. It was obvious that these people believed that he had directed and acted on his own. Okay, none of us said it was you who did it. We just asked the production team leader to find out who did it. He Xiong and the others really don't want to talk to Fang Piashong. What's there to say to such a person? At first glance, Fang Piashong is not a good person. He usually cheats and cheats, relying on others for everything he does. Fang Pei is the laziest person in the whole dormitory. If there is any problem, he always assigns someone else, as if he is a cotter's son and is superior to others. Who is not a cotter's son? Yes, out of the 8 people in their room, 2 are the children of cotters. Although the other people are not considered to be the children of cotters, their family backgrounds are not so bad that they have to bow down to others. Fang Piashong always asks others to help him even make hot water, without thinking about what kind of help he has done to others. What happened this time made everyone feel that Fang Piashong was not a good person and no one wanted to be with him. Okay, everyone, please stop saying a word. I am Fang Piashong's mother. I would like to advise everyone to just let this matter go, okay? It's a blessing that the things can be recovered. At least this thief is not sincere. To steal things as if it never happened. Pei Zhong, please tell everyone that everyone has been busy looking for things for you for a long time, and even summoned so many people to a meeting. Who doesn't work hard? You have worked so hard and you didn't even say thank you to everyone. Moreover, when you come back and the thing is in your quilt, if you put it on me, I will feel that you are directing and acting on your own. Although mom knows that you are not such a person, you still have to thank everyone. No matter what, everyone helped you for a long time. Yehua defended Fang Piashong in disguise, and also affirmed everyone's hard work. When an elder comes out to speak like this, these educated youths are too embarrassed to argue with Fang Piashong. Okay, auntie, we also know the heart of a mother, and we also know that Fang Piashong didn't do this on purpose. Forget it, let's just pretend this never happened. He will go tell the captain tonight that the things have been found. No matter who stole it, they finally got it back. He Xiong and others planned to settle the matter. After all, they had no evidence to prove how Fang Piashong did it, but everyone knew the result in their hearts. Even if Fang Piashong is reported to Li Dehua, it will end up with a big demerit, which will not do any good to their reputation. End of this chapter. The lucky bag is reborn with space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 214. Chapter 214 I did it? I don't. Fang Piashong was furious. He was really unjustly accused because he had done nothing. How could he be labeled like this even though he was so good? Everyone's eyes clearly showed one meaning, that is, everyone thought he was a thief and wanted to catch the thief. Okay, Piashong would like to say thank you to everyone, and there are these things. Tonight, Auntie decided to make a good meal for everyone. These bacon and sausages were brought to the kitchen for everyone to make. They are considered as extra dishes and everyone has worked hard. Field, a little bit of Auntie's thoughts. Yehua poked his son's arm. At this time, the more he defended, the more unclear his explanation became. It's better to come up with something practical to stop everyone's mouths. After all, the hands that take people are short, and the mouths that eat people are short. A few educated youths had no choice but to shut up. Fang Piashong's mother entertained them sincerely, which was to shut everyone's mouths. There was no point in talking about it at this time. Anyway, they knew what was going on. The kitchen really steamed bacon and fried sausages in the evening. Although everyone had meat to eat, the atmosphere was not enthusiastic. Everyone was silent and picking at the food in their mouths, whether they were enjoying the food or not. Many people looked at Fang Piashong secretly. This Fang Piashong is very thoughtful, and he actually came up with this method. Although he didn't succeed, it is still a way. Many people also started to use their brains. Who doesn't want to get out of that list? After all, the production team leader said half of the people will be sent there. When Fang Piashong returned, no one in the dormitory even spoke to him, including He Xiong. He seemed to be isolated in the entire dormitory. After dinner, Yehua asked Lu Dongmei to take her to the production team leader to make a call at the brigade headquarters. Lu Dongmei seemed to have lost the enthusiasm she had when she brought Yehua here this morning. Instead of constantly trying to please her, she became very quiet. And his eyes seemed weird. Yehua didn't care about that. As for Lu Hongmei, she didn't feel the need to please Lu Hongmei. She and her son asked about it and found out that Lu Hongmei's family was from an ordinary working-class family. To put it bluntly, for a girl from such a family to be so enthusiastic about her son, it is conceivable that she was attracted to his son because of the good family conditions. Besides, she was not prepared to regard Lu Hongmei as her daughter-in-law. She had a choice for her daughter-in-law. Naturally, she would not be that close to Lu Hongmei, and certainly not that cold. At least she had to leave some thoughts for Lu Hongmei, and let this Lu Hongmei help her son wholeheartedly. It's always different to have an extra girl to take care of here. Naturally, she felt that Lu Hongmei would not know about her private plans. Lu Hongmei looked at Yehua's face and felt angry and angry. She naturally had her own little plans in pursuing Fang Piashong, but she never expected that Fang Piashong was as good at making plans as his mother. This is simply as if the Tao is 1 foot higher and the devil is 1 foot higher. She was not prepared to have a future with her at all. To put it bluntly, she was just playing with her. The question is, since you are not planning to marry yourself in the future, why did you sleep with yourself? Fang Piashong actually told his mother that it had nothing to do with him. Lu Hongmei's heart is not cold, her heart is not cold. I am a girl, so shamelessly I already have such a relationship with Fang Piashong. He just hoped to marry into the Fang family and change his destiny, but now it's better. Fang Piashong wants to throw himself aside with just one sentence, like throwing away garbage. This is not a dream. Although she, Lu Hongmei, said that her family background was not good, she was not a fool, and she could not just play around with what others said. Fang Piashong still wants to leave this farm, don't even think about it. Lu Hongmei has already made plans to marry Fang Piashong. If I don't marry Fang Piashong in my current situation, what good family can I marry in the future? Which man would accept his woman having an affair with someone else? Lu Hongmei had to make plans for herself. Although she said she had an idea in mind, she could never show it on her face or let others know what she was doing. Otherwise, Fang Piashong is a mother-in-law, and I'm afraid she will hate her to death. It is absolutely impossible for her to let Fang Piashong return to the city. Even if he goes to the county seat, she cannot give him the slightest hope. She wants to step on Fang Piashong under her feet and drive her into the mortal world. Only when she reaches the lowest level, when Fang Piashong has no choice but no one to rely on, will she regard herself as a support. Then he can marry Fang Piashong. If Fang Piashong left this place and was like a fish in water, what would he have to do with himself? If a person does not serve himself, he will be punished by heaven and earth. This mother-in-law is waiting. Yehua naturally didn't want Lu Hongmei to be listening when he was on the phone. Lu Hongmei was also very knowledgeable and stood alone in the yard outside. She didn't eavesdrop on Yehua's phone call. Anyway, she already knew that Yehua's call must be to the county. To put it bluntly, I want to help Fang Piashong find a job in the county town and transfer him away from the farm. Want to leave? Dream. Let's all roll around in the mud together. Li Dehua was smoking a dry cigarette and sitting on the steps in the yard. Lu Hongmei stood aside, rolled her eyes and approached the production team leader. Li Dehua looked at Lu Hongmei and took the initiative to lean aside. He was a serious person, although some production captains would have ideas about female-educated youths. But he is not that kind of person. His wife, those are his eyes. Who doesn't know that Captain Li is afraid of his wife? His daughter-in-law's eyes would pop out when she saw those female-educated youths, and she would often call them vixens. Li Dehua naturally wanted to keep a distance from the female-educated youth, so that his mother-in-law would be sulking in bed again. Lu Hongmei, why are you so close? Just tell me if you have anything to do. I don't know that my tigress is very jealous. Lu Hongmei doesn't care either. Li Dehua is afraid of his wife. No one in the production team knows this. A lot of times, these female-educated youths are quite envious of Li Dehua's daughter-in-law. Her daughter-in-law seems to be tall and thick, but the problem is that her men are very rare, and she loves her in the palm of her hand. There is a woman in the whole production team who is more blessed than Li Dehua's wife. Captain, what do you think about the things lost today? How could Yehua and Fang Piashong suppress the things she had concocted by herself? How wonderful! Among the educated youth, everyone considers each other's future and reputation, and there is no need to kill each other. But this time it was different. Lu Hongmei wanted to kill Fang Piashong and make Fang Piashong roll around in the mud, exactly like her. What do you mean? Are you here to confess to me that you did this? Li Dehua looked at Lu Hongmei with doubts, but he felt that it was not like Lu Hongmei had done this. After all, there is a wall between the male-educated youth dormitory and the female-educated youth dormitory. Besides, who doesn't know that Lu Hongmei and Fang Piashong are a couple? They go out together and work together. Lu Hongmei usually calls Fang Piashong a good person. How could Fang Piashong's girlfriend do such a thing? It's not out of her mind to harm her man. Captain, I admit my mistake to you. I was the one who did this, and I took those things. I was the one who framed Fang Piashong. I put the things in his quilt. It was really not him calling for a thief. This matter was all my idea. I did it alone and had nothing to do with him. You can't put a demerit in his file just because of this. I did it all by myself. If you want to put a demerit on him, just put it on me. Lu Hongmei burst into tears, although not heartbroken. But I cried sincerely. End of this chapter. The lucky bag is reborn with space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 215. Chapter 215. Is he a man? What does it mean that something was found in Fang Piashong's quilt? Why didn't I know about this? Okay, such a big thing happened, and the thing was found, but no one told me. The production captain, he thought I was dead. Li Dehe said angrily. Without saying a word he blew out his tobacco gun, got up and went straight to the male-educated youth dormitory. He is not a fool. Does Lu Hongmei look like a thief? Which thief would admit his mistake so openly? At first glance, this is a sign of guilt. This was because she was afraid that Fang Piashong would be punished for this matter, so Lu Hongmei stood up to take the blame for her man, saying that it was all her fault. These women, when they fall in love, their brains are as if they are confused, and they don't even think about what they can and cannot do. If this matter didn't break out at the beginning, then he, the production captain, would just keep it under wraps. It's not a good thing after all. But this incident caused an uproar in the entire production team, and other production teams also knew that their production team actually lost something. This kind of thing hasn't happened in many years. If this matter is not given to everyone, what should others say? The thunder is loud but the rain is light. Moreover, if you indulge this thief like this, you will have to be shameless in front of other production captains when you go out. Even if he wanted to, he couldn't. Other production captains would always ask questions on his face. If you don't deal with such a big matter, what will others say about you in the future? When someone goes to the county for a meeting and someone reports him, that's fine. He's not a captain. Even if others want to cover it up, he can't cover it up now. Lu Hongmei followed Li Dehe, pulling on Li Dehe's sleeves to beg for mercy. Captain Li, I did something wrong. Please forgive me for once. Just pretend it didn't happen please. It was really me, Lu Hongmei, who did it, and it has nothing to do with anyone else. Li Dehe walked faster. Lu Hongmei almost fell down while being led away. Taking this opportunity, Li Dehe had already walked to the yard of the male-educated youth dormitory. The educated youths had all finished eating. Some were sitting on the threshold to enjoy the cool air, and some were playing cards there. As soon as I turned my head, I saw the production team leader entering the door. Everyone was startled and stood up one after another. Captain, why are you here? On weekdays, the captain would not hang out in their dormitory unless there was something urgent. Zhang Chaoyang, come out and tell me clearly what's going on. How come I heard that the things that Fang Piashong lost were found in Fang Piashong's quilt? Why didn't this matter be reported to the brigade? And who stole these things? Have you checked it out? Why did Lu Hongmei come to say that she did it? And ask me to punish her? Li Dehe is really angry. We were divided into small groups, but we didn't expect that such a big thing would happen and such a big thing would be caused. These people are really careless. Although Zhang Chaoyang has strong personal abilities, there are all kinds of people who cannot stand up to him. Although I have always been optimistic about Zhang Chaoyang, what is the use of being optimistic? This time things happened right under my nose. The problem is that if he, the captain, does not handle the matter well, others will find fault with the production captain. Zhang Chaoyang came out, let alone he really didn't know about it. Yehua is quite awesome. He gave everyone in the dormitory things such as soap, clothes, and other things. Everyone took the things, so naturally it was not easy to discuss this matter. Besides, things happened in a hurry, so everyone went to eat after it happened. After eating, they all went back to the house. Of course no one has passed this news to Zhang Chaoyang. Zhang Chaoyang does not know any more than Li Dehua. Hearing this, he was a little dumbfounded. Looking at He Ziyang grew up in the same compound as him, and he was considered the younger one behind him. He also told He Ziyang on weekdays that if Fang Piashong caused any trouble, he must notify him in advance. Today is not a bad day. I don't know anything. I am no different from a deaf or blind person. He Ziyang said, he just went to write a letter home, and the postman was coming tomorrow and wanted to send the letter, so he was afraid that the oil lamp would not light up, so he wrote early. I didn't have time to tell Zhang Chaoyang about this. I didn't think about it in a hurry. I would have time to talk about it when I went to the ground tomorrow morning. Who would have known that the production captain knew about it, and couldn't help but glance at Lu Hongmei complainingly. You told me that you kept this matter a secret, but you ended up exposing it yourself. Let the production captain know, how can they keep it a secret? What is going on? You and Fang Piashong are in the same room. Please stand up and tell me clearly. I tell you, if you conceal it and don't report it, you will be an accomplice. Li Dehua doesn't care about that. These are the people who will be given serious demerits. Don't blame me for not telling you in advance. People who have been given serious demerits may be on the list to support the frontier. Hearing this, everyone wilted. Who is willing to support the frontier? Many people secretly complained about Fang Piashong. Looking at the good things he did, it was all because he harmed everyone this time. There are 8 people in a dormitory, how can any of them dare to say that they don't know? Now being targeted by the production captain, there might have been a glimmer of hope for them not to go. I guess once you register with the production team leader, the consequences will be unimaginable. At this time, who was still willing to help Fang Piashong hide it? There was immediately a lot of talk, and several people started talking. One person started to say, and the others no longer wanted to hide it. Everyone wanted to perform well in front of the captain and cross themselves off the list, so they all opened their mouths to explain the matter clearly. Fang Piashong was anxious and angry, and he didn't even say what he had promised. Why are these people so dishonest? They accepted so much from my mother and even ate her bacon and sausage today. The result was not bad. When the captain asked these people, the bamboo tube poured the beans cleanly. Hurrying forward to explain to Li Dehua. Captain, I don't know what happened. When we came back, we found these things stuffed in my quilt. We thought someone had stolen something and saw that the matter was getting bigger. We were afraid that we would be implicated, so we send those things back secretly. This is too far-fetched. Li Dehua sneered. During the meeting, we were all at the brigade headquarters. Who could come back in advance and stuff things into your bedding? Do you think anyone believes this? Besides, everyone they are all afraid that they will become known as thieves. Who will come back together after the meeting? Do you think thieves are all committing crimes together now? It's rare that you can't do it. Let me tell you, Fang Piashong is a man. What he does is what he does. He admits his mistakes and he can be considered a responsible man. I can still see you as a man, but now it's better to let a woman come out to take the blame for you. Are you still a human being? Lu Hongmei came up and explained, Captain, I really did this. It really has nothing to do with anyone else. I am the thief who stole things. The eyes were so anxious that their eyes were red, and everyone couldn't help but sigh. Alas, this silly woman. Even at this time, I am still acting foolishly here. I didn't see that Fang Piashong didn't want to see her so much. I wish everyone a happy National Day and Mid-Autumn Festival, reunion, and family joy. The author also went to the festival and went home to see his mother. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Lucky Bag is reborn with space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 216. Chapter 216 The secret recipe passed down from generation to generation. When Yehua returned to the educated youth dormitory after making the phone call, he found that the atmosphere was not right. My son was sitting alone in the yard, his eyes were red, as if he was being bullied. After asking carefully, I found out what happened. Although Li Dehua gave Fang Piashong a minor demerit for this incident. Greater than impossible. After all, there is not enough evidence to prove who did it, and everyone is doubtful. However, the main object of suspicion in everyone's mind must be Fang Piashong. Even Li Dehua now believes that it was Fang Piashong himself who committed the crime. Although this matter is still over, the ending of the matter may not be so happy. Yehua could only comfort his son for a long time. I am waiting to go to the county town tomorrow to visit the old man's comrades, and try to find a way to transfer Fang Piashong back. Zhang Xiaoxiao stayed in the eldest sister's courtyard for another day and planned to go back to the forest farm tomorrow. After all, there were still a lot of things going on at the forest farm. She came here mainly because Director Wang still needed her help. The foreign expert left with him, but there would always be problems with the machinery and equipment. When encountering some difficult and complicated diseases, these engineers and technicians could not solve those instructions. The instructions for use were like a Bible, all in pure English. No one can recognize the letters. The translator can only translate some simple and professional words, and they can't tell what they are. There was no other way, so Officer Wang had to call in Zhang Xiaoxiao again, and he could only treat a dead horse as a living horse doctor. I hope Zhang Xiaoxiao can be better than these people. Of course, Zhang Xiaoxiao is indeed better than these people. Mainly this kind of instruction manual. She has translated it for others before, so she still knows some similar words, otherwise it will be useless to give her these things. She has received a telegram from Jiashu. Jiashu will arrive by train tomorrow. She plans to go back to the farm with Jiashu after Jiashu arrives. She has already helped engineers and technicians solve a lot of things in the county. It's their own problem. She can't help with those machines and equipment. Manager Wang really liked Zhang Xiaoxiao and lobbied Zhang Xiaoxiao several times for her to stay in the county. With her level of English, even being a teacher or working in the county's foreign trade office would be better than working on a farm in the county town. But Zhang Xiaoxiao couldn't get enough of it. There was really no other way, so Officer Wang had no choice but to bring a lot of things to Zhang Xiaoxiao and wrap a 500 yuan red envelope. This 500 yuan is equivalent to the worker's salary for 2 years. Of course, this is a thank you. The contributions made by others are far greater than the contributions made by these workers. If they don't show any signs, Zhang Xiaoxiao will not be able to help them in the future. Director Wang himself would also feel ashamed. How can anyone let people work for nothing without getting any benefit from them? Since people don't want to work in the county town, they must bring something back with them. Zhang Xiaoxiao didn't refuse. After all, the more you work, the more you get. It's true that he actually worked and got paid. This will not make Director Wang feel uncomfortable. This is not after I went to the power plant with Director Wang early in the morning to smooth out the last things. Secretary Wang specially brought her back to the county party committee compound. All her things were in his office, and they had all been passed through. The superior leaders have also said that they must try their best to attract such talented people. This is more than an expert. When their car passed by the military compound in front of them, Zhang Xiaoxiao saw Yehua greeting the guard there through the car window, and was led in by the guard. With a thought in his heart, Yehua should have been at the farm to see Fang Piashong. Why did he come here? And it looks like this is a military compound. Maybe Yehua came up with something else. Officer Wang took a look and said, "Hey, who is here to see our old man?" At first glance, he looks like he is from the city. I have never seen him before. Zhang Xiaoxiao smiled. The old man from Wang's family lived here. Officer Wang, is this your father or your grandfather? He looks like a high-ranking official from the military region. This is my dad. It's not like you haven't noticed. I am now in my 30s. I have worked hard for the cause of liberation in my life. Now that I am old and sick all over my body, I can't take care of myself at home. With old man's legs have been hurting a lot recently, and his rheumatism is particularly serious, which makes him feel irritable. When it comes to his old man, Director Wang himself is timid. Zhang Xiaoxiao's eyes lit up. Rheumatism. That sincerely is not about her taking pleasure in others' misfortune. Our peaches are a cure-all for all diseases. She even soaked the peaches in wine, peach wine. We are the only ones in the Zhang family. Mr. Wang, I have a local recipe that can relieve the old man's rheumatism. Do you want to give it a try? She wanted to see what Yehua was going to do. It is her ultimate mission to spare no effort in attacking the best biological mother. Perhaps I was still worried about this in my previous life, and I can't let it go in this life. Anyway, she just looked unhappy at Yehua. I originally thought that if I didn't go back in this life, there would be no interactions with them. Since then, Fang Zhang and his family have not interfered with the river. But Yehua came to provoke him. Then you can't blame her for causing trouble. Let's see if Yehua can stand up to her troubles. Let's each look at the means. General Manager Wang was a little surprised when he heard this. Zhang Xiaoxiao is not a person who is flattering. After spending so long with him, he still doesn't know who Zhang Xiaoxiao is. This is the first time that I have taken the initiative to show kindness to myself. So far, he hasn't understood what Zhang Xiaoxiao's brain circuit is like. At any rate, this person never accepted the olive branch he extended. Unexpectedly, today this person would actually have compassion for their old man. This is a great thing. Really? Zhang Xiaoxiao, you actually have such a good thing with a secret recipe handed down from ancestors. You have to give it a try. You, an educated youth like Zhang, have a lot of good things. Don't miss it if you walk by. I passed by our old man's house today. Go in and sit down, and let our old man have a taste of the effects of your peach wine. I've never heard that peaches can make wine. This wine sounds like fruit wine and must taste sweet. Secretary Wang is a little greedy. Although this wine does not sound as strong as the wine made from grain, when you hear the name of this wine, you can feel that this wine must have a mild stamina. The whole mother is stuck in the dad's wine. Even if the old man is drinking a bite, it must be approved by superiors. Otherwise, my mother would definitely have a way to deal with her father. If this wine is really produced, I am afraid that my old man will be absolutely satisfied. No matter how low the alcohol content is, it is still wine, and no matter how sweet it tastes in your mouth, it is still wine. The so-called mosquitoes, no matter how small they are still meat. I guess my mother can rest assured, and after hearing that this wine is good for their old man's rheumatism, I guess my mother can wave her hand and save my father's life. End of this chapter. The lucky bag is reborn with space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 217. Chapter 217. Why is it you? Although Zhang Xiaoxiaju is carried on his body, he cannot take it out so carelessly. Who carries wine with him? Besides, I have nothing but this small satchel, so I can't say that this small satchel contains a jar of wine. Even if she was just pretending, she had to look good, so she asked Officer Wang to send her back to her sister's house. Fortunately, my sister's house is only separated from the old man by 2 roads. With the jeep, the speed is quite fast. Sister and brother-in-law are at work right now, and there is actually no one in the house. She had the key, so she opened the courtyard door, went in, and pretended to bring out a jar of wine. General Manager Wang took a look and said, "Hey, there is really wine. This wine is packed in a large transparent glass bottle, which is quite big. Pink liquid can be seen inside, with those bright red peaches soaked in it. It looked very pleasing to the eye, but I didn't know how it tasted. I jumped out of the car in a hurry and carried the jar into the car. I couldn't watch a girl doing such physical work. It didn't take the 2 of them 5 minutes, and the car had already arrived at the door of Director Wang's father's house. The 2 of them got out of the car. Officer Wang held the wine jar and let Zhang Xiaoxiao inside. Our old man has a straight temper, and sometimes he doesn't pay much attention to what he says. When you go, don't be angry because of what he says. To put it bluntly, their old man has no emotional intelligence. Zhang Xiaoxiao was happy. Why should Director Wang be so polite to me? I still don't know. No matter what, he is still an elder. It doesn't matter if he speaks a little harshly. I am also a straightforward person. Maybe we will still be right. What about temper? Besides, I'm here to give a gift to the old man. Don't they say that you won't hit someone with a smiling face? After accepting my gift, you can't still get angry at me. I think no matter how ignorant the old man is, he can't do this." Steward Wang laughed heartlessly. Zhang Xiaoxiao really dared to say that, even if he met himself, if he met another leader, it would be strange to offend him to death by saying something like this. "Mom and Dad, I brought a guest." The father of Officer Wang, a small courtyard in this military region. The houses are neatly arranged, with yards in front and back, and the promenade is covered with grapevines. This house looks like it is not affordable for ordinary people. It seems that Director Wang must be a second-generation military officer. Perhaps after hearing his voice, someone inside immediately opened the door. "You kid, you haven't been home for a few days? You still know how to recruit people? I thought you were so wild that you didn't even consider this family your own." There was a woman in her 50s inside who was scolding Director Wang as she opened the door, but when her eyes fell on Zhang Xiaoxiao, her smile immediately became a little brighter. "Hey, we have a guest, please come in quickly, please come in quickly." Zhang Xiaoxiao hurried in. The middle-aged woman deliberately lagged behind, nudged her son with her elbow, and winked at Zhang Xiaoxiao's back. "Then I want to ask my son again, is it possible that the person he brought back is his daughter-in-law?" Manager Wang's face turned red. His mother was already confused about the marriage. In addition to constantly introducing people to him for blind dates, when I saw him with a girl, I immediately had endless associations and wanted to marry her home immediately. "I can hold my grandson tomorrow." He shook his head anxiously and put a thumb up on his lips to signal his mother not to talk nonsense. He and Zhang Xiaoxiao were almost 1 round apart. He really admired Zhang Xiaoxiao purely and had absolutely no personal relationship with him. Their revolutionary friendship cannot be ruined by his mother. What a talent Zhang Xiaoxiao is. Once he is offended by his mother, he will ask to come to the other person's house in the future, but the other person will ignore him. Then this is not a dead end. My work has been going smoothly recently, and it's all thanks to Zhang Xiaoxiao's blessing. Oh, is this what Lao Fang means? Uncle Wang, you still don't know that my dad is a man who wants to save face and suffer as long as he speaks. Piers Hong doesn't have to go to the countryside at all, but he can't let go of that old face. Even if he feels sorry for his grandson, he still won't speak. There is nothing I can do. Piers Hong should go to the countryside if he goes to the countryside. But now I also heard that people want to support border construction. After all, Piashong has never suffered so much at home. If we really go to the border, how can we bear it? The old man felt very distressed, but he chose not to say anything. It's not that I have no choice but to beg you. Yehua's voice caught Zhang Xiaoxiu's attention. Yes, there was such a thing, but when she was here, it had nothing to do with her. At that time, I was confused and had not yet adapted to life on the farm. At that time, there was no such thing as a household contract on farms. To put it bluntly, there were no small collectives at all. She is not good at working by herself. The production team leader doesn't like her and makes things difficult for her. In addition, her roommate who lives with her also dislikes her. At that time, Zhang Xiaoxiao was at a low point in her life. She didn't care about these things. Although she had heard about them, she didn't care at all. Of course, I don't care whether I have the quota or not. In fact, even though Li Dehua, the production captain, disliked him so much in his previous life, he did not let a girl like him be sent to the frontier. To put it bluntly, it is still considered that their physical condition is not suitable for running there to support construction. This kind of thing was far from the case with Fang Piashong last time. Of course, it is impossible for Yehua to come here to ask for help for her so-called daughter. It's true that Lao Fang didn't open his mouth for this kind of thing, just give me a call. Okay, I know this matter, I will let them take care of it. Definitely not let Piashong go to the countryside. The old leader has made so many contributions to the country in his life and suffered so much. Why can't his grandson enjoy some treatment when he is old? The old man's loud voice was already a disguised answer. Uncle Wang, thank you very much. This is our little thought. If it weren't for you this time, I don't know what I would have done. Yehua thanked him profusely there. Why are you so polite? Lao Fang used to be my leader, and I am also my friend. We have such a strong relationship. What does it mean to help him do such a small thing? If you are so polite again, you are a heretic. Come on. Just stay here for lunch today, and I'll ask your aunt to cook some delicious dishes to entertain you. Uncle Wang, it's really not necessary for you to entertain me like this, then I'll feel even more regretful. It's enough trouble for you to ask you to handle this matter. I'd better go back and tell Piashong the news. This child has not slept or eaten well in the past few days because of this incident. Manager Wang suddenly said, Dad, there are guests. I'm bringing the guests back too. The four eyes face each other. Yehua almost jumped up in surprise. Why you? End of this chapter. The lucky bag is reborn with space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 218. Chapter 218 is Yehua's style. Officer Wang glanced at Yehua and wondered suspiciously, could it be that the woman in front of him knew Zhang Xiaoxiao? How else would you ask this question properly? This is not something a stranger would ask. You brat, you still know how to come back. Oh, you brought back such a beautiful little girl. The old man was exactly what Zhang Xiaoxiao had imagined. He had a Chinese character face, thick eyebrows, and big eyes. His eyes were eager and quite imposing. Zhang Xiaoxiao smiled and said hello. Hello, Uncle Wang, I am a friend of Director Wang. This self-introduction is not standard. The old man took a look at his son. This boy has not been married for 31 years. Could it be that he is suddenly enlightened? But the girl in front of me is a little too young. Is it possible that my son wants to be an old cow eating young grass? Dad, take a look, this is a good thing Xiao Xiao brought you. This is called peach wine. It is the ancestral secret recipe of Xiaoxiao's family. It is said to be particularly helpful for rheumatic legs. No, I specially listened to me tell you that if you have rheumatism, I will send it to your door. Absolutely good stuff. Secretary Wang didn't look at 31, but he was still like a child, putting the bottle in his arms on the table to show off to the old man. Showing off while spitting and flying. The old man doesn't care whether it can cure rheumatism or not. Anyway, this time he has an old problem, and no matter how many doctors he consults, it doesn't help. But as soon as he heard that it was peach wine, he immediately became excited. As long as it had something to do with wine, the old man was interested. Immediately stared at the glass bottle with bright eyes, but when I saw that the bottle was actually filled with peaches, I was a little discouraged, but fortunately, the pink liquid inside looked quite beautiful. It's still reluctant to accept it? The Queen Mother coughed. Mr. Wang immediately sat upright without squinting. Little girl, thank you for your kindness, but the old man can't drink. I'm afraid this peach wine will make your efforts go to waste. Manager Wang chuckled and said, Mom, don't be like this stuff is really good. And this is peach wine, and it must not be high in alcohol. You can ask Dad to try it first. I finally got the ancestral secret recipe. Can you please don't hurt people's little feelings? Zhang Xiaoxiao nodded, Auntie, the alcohol content of this wine is really not high. If you drink a little, it will be good for your skin and metabolism. Of course, this is wine after all, so you can't drink too much, just a small cup at a time. Our peach wine is not only good for rheumatism, but also helpful for some chronic diseases of the body and diseases with low immunity. If you drink it for a long time, your resistance will become stronger, and those minor colds and fevers will not exist at all. She is not exaggerating at all when she says it sincerely. We are produced by space and can cure all diseases. The Queen Mother was immediately amused by the little girl. This girl has a really nice voice, and the words she says are really pleasing to the ears. Although it is not certain whether this wine has that effect, I heard that it is good for women's skin, including some immune diseases, and every woman likes to hear this. Regardless of whether it has any effect or not, she has to express her stance just for the little girl's attitude. Just as he was about to speak, Yehua spoke. It is rebuking as soon as you open your mouth. Zhang Xiaoxiao, have you had enough of your nonsense? Is this the place where you are fooling around? What kind of ancestral secret recipe? There is no ancestral secret recipe in the Fang family. How can you still learn to bluff and deceive now? In order to curry favor with the leader, you even do this, use them all. You have really brought shame on our Fang family. These words shocked the three people present, the faces of the Fang family. Mr. Wang and the Queen Mother both raised their heads and looked at Zhang Xiaoxiao. They just heard their son introduce the girl's surname to Zhang. Why did she change it to Fang? What is the relationship between this Zhang Xiaoxiao and the Fang family? General Manager Wang is also confused. Zhang Xiaoxiao's surname is Zhang. He also checked Zhang Xiaoxiao's information. Those documents clearly stated that his surname was Zhang, and his father's name was Zhang Lishi and his mother's name was Fan Qiuying. It has nothing to do with the Fang family. Zhang Xiaoxiao, do you know the woman in front of you? Officer Wang instinctively felt that he should protect Zhang Xiaoxiao. Officer Wang, my surname is Zhang, my father's name is Zhang Lishi, and my mother's name is Fan Qiuying. I have no relationship with the Fang family at all. Zhang Xiaoxiao was a little bit dumbfounded. Yehua was driven into a panic by himself, or because a lot of things had happened to him recently. He was so anxious that he jumped over the wall. This kind of family scandal, which should not be publicized, was actually exposed in other people's homes. Does a face-saving person like Yehua have no shame? At this moment, Officer Wang felt relieved, but he immediately became angry. What happened to the woman in front of him? She obviously came to her father to open a backdoor relationship, but she was so rude. What kind of trouble is this for offending one's own guests? Comrade, you should be careful when you speak, you are slandering someone else's guests so casually. The comrade in front of you is named Zhang, but I know that her file clearly states Zhang Xiaoxiao. Even if you slander someone, you have to do it. Make it clear before slandering. General Manager Wang will definitely fight against injustice. Zhang Xiaoxiao suddenly felt a little sorry for Director Wang. When Ye Hua said this just now, she was quite irritable. After all, she saw that Zhang Xiaoxiao actually lost the favor of Mr. Wang's son. Zhang Xiaoxiao is everywhere and can do anything. Ye Hua was mainly afraid that Zhang Xiaoxiao would cause trouble here, so he couldn't help but say these words. It was really to slander Zhang Xiaoxiao. But after saying this, I knew in my heart that it was bad. How could I say it so casually? If Zhang Xiaoxiao's life experience is really exposed, it won't be the Fang family that will be embarrassed. After all, there is no strong evidence to prove whether Zhang Xiaoxiao is their biological daughter. Just relying on their words, the words of the hospital nurses, is not enough to win people's trust. Moreover, Zhang Xiaoxiao completely disavowed her and did not give her the face of a mother. He said that Zhang Xiaoxiao was his daughter, which was just a slap in the face. Now seeing Director Wang protecting Zhang Xiaoxiao like this, Ye Hua felt even more regretful. Had I known that she would have left early just now, even if I went out and waited outside for Zhang Xiaoxiao to block her, it would be better to speak clearly than to speak here. If she reveals these things, what will the old man think? Will people think that their Fang family is in such a mess? And when the time comes, just in case someone feels sympathy for Zhang Xiaoxiao. Zhang Xiaoxiao was also given a job in the county. Doesn't that mean he made a wedding dress for someone else? Ye Hua regrets 100 times. I'm really sorry, I got the wrong person. Uncle Wang, I'll leave first. But you have to think carefully about this secret recipe passed down from generation to generation. After all, this thing can be big or small. What if you drink it? It's not good for your health. Ye Hua left after applying the eye drops. Leave cleanly. Zhang Xiaoxiao spread his hands and shrugged. Is Ye Hua's style. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Lucky Bag is reborn with space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 219. Chapter 219 Old Song Dynasty. Ye Hua left, but the atmosphere in the living room was not as harmonious as before. The old man and the Queen Mother looked at the bottle of wine on the table. I can't help but doubt in my heart that although they sometimes seek medical treatment when they are ill, the secret recipe passed down from their ancestors is not necessarily as mysterious as it is passed down. Besides, whose ancestral secret recipe is related to peaches? If peaches can cure all diseases, why do hospital doctors need to prescribe those medicines? I've heard of tiger bone wine, deer antler wine, and snake wine, but I've never heard of peach wine. Besides, many doctors have seen my old rheumatism and there is no cure at all. It can only be relieved, and it is simply impossible to cure it. But you can't let your child lose face. No matter what, this kid has good intentions. Even if it can't cure the disease, drinking this peach wine can definitely do no harm to the body. Don't hurt other people's feelings. Oh, I have never seen peach wine before. This is the first time I heard about this secret recipe handed down from our ancestors. There is actually peach wine. Come on, pour me a glass and try it. The old man was afraid that Zhang Xiaoxiao would be embarrassed. Zhang Xiaoxiao felt that Director Wang still didn't understand his father very well. The old man's emotional intelligence is not very high. His emotional intelligence is very high. The Queen Mother slapped her thigh. Auntie has prepared the food. Let's go to the dining table to drink. It just so happened that I also had a taste. Today I made your favorite twice-cooked pork and shredded fish-flavored pork. It goes well with peach wine. I think it's really good. I also want to have a drink. Without saying a word, Officer Wang picked up the glass bottle of peach wine, went straight to his restaurant, and greeted Zhang Xiaoxiao. Zhang Xiao, come on, our aunt is very good at cooking, you are lucky enough to have a try today. Zhang Xiao was not polite and followed Mr. Wang directly into the restaurant. The old man and the queen mother finally breathed a sigh of relief. They couldn't bring shame on someone else's child. 4 people were sitting neatly in the restaurant, and they just picked up their chopsticks. There was a knock on the door of their house, and the queen mother frowned. Someone came to the door at this hour? This is not an obvious way to make money, alas. Must be an acquaintance. Auntie went to open the door, and after a while, she came with an old man and an old lady. The queen mother stood up in a hurry and said, "Old Song, come here with your old sister, why don't you say anything to us, otherwise I will cook you 2 more dishes and you 2 can still have a drink." Hurriedly asked the old man and the old lady to sit down. Zhang Xiao was very discerning and immediately moved away. It was not suitable for him to sit in this position anymore. These people in front of me can be considered elders no matter how old they are. She and Director Wang spontaneously moved 2 places back. The table was full with 6 people sitting on it, but it was a round table, so it would be okay for 10 people to sit there. At first glance, Mr. Song and Mr. Song's wife must have had enough seniority. From their Mao suit and the old lady's upright 4-pocket clothes, they were all cotters. Still a veteran cotter. The old man looked very majestic, with thick eyebrows and big eyes. Although his hair was gray, he was majestic, especially his eyes, which were a little sharp. When he glanced at Zhang Xiao, the old man was a little surprised. "Who is this?" "Grandpa Song, this is Zhang Xiao, a friend of mine who is in the production team of Kenking Farm. Today I came specifically to deliver peach wine to my dad. You are just in time, so you can try it too." As if he were offering a treasure, Officer Wang poured wine for his father and mother, as well as Grandpa Song and Grandma Song in front of him. Not to mention, when the wine is poured out, a fragrance will waft out along with the wine. Although the alcohol content does not smell high, the fragrance alone makes up for all the shortcomings. Mr. Song picked up the wine glass, smelled it, and then took a sip. "Oh, this wine is good. It tastes very refreshing and sweet. Although it is different from the wines we used to drink, it also has a unique flavor." "Mr. Wang, does Mr. Wang know who Lao Song is?" "This man is addicted to alcohol, but his health is not good because of his age. They all have a common problem. When they get old, they cannot drink even a drop of wine. Since Lao Song said it tasted good, this wine must be different." He hurriedly picked up the wine glass and took a sip, tasting it carefully in his mouth, and couldn't help but nod. "Not to mention, this wine tastes really good." The Queen Mother and Mrs. Song were also amused by the expressions of these 2 people. They picked up their wine glasses and drank a little. "However, after drinking it, I was still surprised. The taste of this wine is more suitable for women. Basically, it doesn't have any alcoholic kick, but it has a sweet taste in the aftertaste. The food on the table is really good at cooking. Although Zhang Xiao can cook, he is still a little short of top-notch food. After all, she was not a chef in her previous life. How good can a person with a scalpel cook? She spent all her time doing surgeries, and her meals were just makeshift. The craftsmanship I know are all those I learned from doing odd jobs to make ends meet." At this moment, I couldn't help but smile while eating the food cooked by the Wang family's chef. "Little girl, you are at Kenking Farm. My grandson is also at Kenking Farm. Maybe you know him too. His name is Song Moding." Mr. Song drank a glass of wine and opened up the topic, mainly because he recognized the little girl in front of him. "Mr. Song, it turns out you are Song Moding's grandfather. Song Moding is now the captain of our small group." Zhang Xiao couldn't help but be shocked. It turned out that the majestic old man in front of him was actually Song Moding's grandfather. Song Moding never said that his grandparents were in the county. This is really strange. No wonder he came to this farm to go to the countryside. It seemed that he wanted to be near the water and the tower first. Song Moding probably thought that he could see his grandparents nearby and take care of them. Oh, then we are acquaintances, and so is Mo Ting. Every time he comes to the county, he leaves immediately after only a few minutes. I can't even keep him for a meal, if it wasn't for food last time. It is estimated that he is not even willing to come to the county seat to see us. This child is stubborn. How's it going? Is he feeling well lately? Zhang Xiaoxiao finally heard it. It seemed that the old man and the old lady really loved Song Moding from the bottom of their hearts. However, for some unknown reason, there seemed to be some gap between Song Moding and the old man and the old lady. Brother Song's character is actually very good-tempered, and he is not the irritable and unreasonable type. But there is such a gap between me and my grandparents, which shows that there is something going on. Think about it again, Song Moding's mother died young and there is a stepmother at home. It can be imagined that life has been difficult these past few years, and some things may have happened in the meantime. You can think of it? My biological parents can do such things to me, let alone my stepmother. I can't say that I am too one-sided, but how could a stepmother treat her previous son like her own son? Anyway, Zhang Xiaoxiao felt that if he had his own son and someone else's son, there would inevitably be some partiality. This has nothing to do with being kind or not, it is just a human instinct. End of this chapter. The lucky bag is reborn with space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 220. Chapter 220 Lao Wang, look at your legs. Grandpa Song, don't worry. Brother Song is in good health. He is in our production team and he is a good worker. He is also very good at eating. After working, he can eat 3 bowls of rice in one meal. If you want to eat steamed buns, at least 8 can be eaten. The work in the fields has been too busy recently, but I guess in another month, the work in our fields will be less busy, and he will probably be able to come and visit you. Zhang Xiaoxiao made an excuse for Song Moding. There was no need for a month. The fact that she came to the county town proved that they had no work to do in production and now was the most leisure time. Mr. Song smiled cheerfully. You are a good boy, but you are still making excuses for Song Moding. I don't know if this boy is unwilling to come to us even if he has free time. Isn't it because he thinks we were the ones who caused his mother to die in the first place? This kid has a problem with us. But in the final analysis, we are sorry for him because he has lost his mother since he was a child. Life has been very hard for so many years. As soon as Zhang Xiaoxiao heard this, he immediately became gossipy. There's nothing you can do about it, it's a woman's nature. Mr. Wang poured wine into the wine glass in front of old Song. Stop talking about it, what's the point of bringing up this old story again? I can't blame you for what happened back then. Some problems are left over from this era. No one can say who is right and who is wrong. There are some good things that were done by your wicked son, but they were not done by you. How can you control others? This kid doesn't understand now. When he gets married in the future, he has his own wife and children. I guess I can gradually understand your painstaking efforts. Okay, what you said is right. What's the point of bringing up old memories again? The past is past. I can only hope that this child will live a better life in the future. As grandparents, we can be considered worthy of his deceased mother. The old man raised his glass and drank it in one gulp. I wanted to pour another glass, but Mrs. Song smiled and took the glass over. Don't drink it. The doctor said you have to stop drinking. This peach wine looks low in alcohol content, but it's still alcohol. You still feel bad for your liver, and feel bad for yourself. The old man shook his head. Look, you'll take care of me wherever I go. I told you to stay in Beijing, but you have to come over here. You've been taking care of me all your life, and you won't let me relax for a while when I get old. The Queen Mother poured a glass for Mrs. Song. Old Song, I don't blame Lao Meng for this. I've heard about your liver a long time ago. The doctor said you can't drink alcohol. You violated the principle and drank 2 glasses today. It will really be good if you drink it again. Don't you sincerely make us feel uncomfortable? Eat food and eat food. Auntie, the basket of crabs that the brat brought back was also steamed, so Lao Wang couldn't eat it. This time, it was an advantage for Lao Song and his sister-in-law. Mr. Wang's eyes widened. Look, look, you have seen it? I am bullied all day long in this family. You said, I have rheumatism and gout. What I like most in my life is crabs. This is not bad. Come to when you are old, your son will be filial to you, and it will be easier for you. Mr. Song looked at Mr. Wang's legs. Both of them knew that after so many years and the wind and rain along the way, they had a lot of problems, especially when the weather changed, it would become even more painful. Even though Lao Wang is smiling with himself, just by looking at his hand on his leg vigorously rubbing his knee, you can tell that his leg must be uncomfortable at the moment. Especially when the rheumatoid joints hurt, it was really fatal. Brothers and sisters, it's not for your own good. Don't stay here and just take advantage of me. If you eat this crab, you will probably roll over in pain tonight. Steward Wang stuck out his tongue. He forgot about his father's gout and only remembered that his father liked to eat crabs. I specially asked my colleagues to get it from the south. It is said that this crab is the most famous crab in the south. The hot crabs were served to the table. Mr. Song's eyes widened when he looked at the crabs. It is not easy to eat crabs in the Great North. Moreover, the transportation now is incomparable with that in the future. It is all brought by green wagons. Being able to eat such fresh crabs is not something that ordinary people can enjoy. The meal was finished in a lively manner. Zhang Xiaoxiao ate 2 big crabs and was very satisfied. Mr. Song and the old lady specially told Zhang Xiaoxiao to come to their house when he returned to the farm and leave his address to Zhang Xiaoxiao. I want to bring something to my grandson. After all, the farm is remote and it's not easy to buy something. Zhang Xiaoxiao also agreed and stuffed the note with the address in his pocket. I returned home and thought about it for a while. If I really go to Mr. Song's house tomorrow, I can't be empty-handed. After all, those are Song Moding's grandparents, and it seems that the old man and the old lady are also very dignified people, and they treat others very kindly. The old man has liver problems, so it is definitely not appropriate to give him peach wine, but it is still okay for the old lady to drink peach wine. I have brewed a lot of this wine in my own space. Anyway, my peach trees basically bear fruit once a day. In order not to waste these peaches, she did all she could to make dried peaches, peach wine, canned peaches, peach juice, and peach jam. She simply used all her brains to make the best use of the peaches. If the old man really doesn't like to drink peach wine, this peach juice and canned peaches are definitely right? I'm bringing some peach jam to the old lady. The old man and the old lady can just eat the steamed buns on weekdays. Anyway, I have tested this peach, and it is not harmful to the body even if I eat a little more. She was giving gifts to the old lady and the old man, while the Wang family sent away the Song family, their son, and Zhang Xiaoxiao before finally sitting down. They took a long time to eat this meal, and everyone ate crabs as if they were melon seeds. Just sitting like this all afternoon. Of course the Queen Mother knew that her man's joints in his legs had been in severe pain for the past 2 days. It must have been due to a sudden change in the weather recently. I had to sit hard all afternoon today, and I was afraid that my legs would become even more uncomfortable, so I hurriedly helped him into the bedroom. You can roll up your pants or take them off. I'll get you some hot towels and apply them on your legs. It must hurt, right? Don't hold it in there. I saw you while eating. His face changed. Mr. Wang stopped his wife. Don't go. I've been busy all day. Let's sit down and take a rest. My legs don't really hurt today. The pain was really severe at noon before eating. When I walked to the restaurant, I felt like my legs were going to break. I don't know the psychological effect, but the wine really works. After drinking that wine at noon, my legs didn't hurt at all this afternoon, but the joints felt warm. When the Queen Mother heard this, she didn't believe her old man. She was probably worried that she had said this on purpose. Don't talk nonsense there. Even if this wine is really a secret recipe passed down from family to family, you can't drink more than 2 glasses. It will take effect immediately. You drank a lot, I let you go today. At least you are good after drinking it. Half a pound. Even though it's made from peaches, it's a bit alcoholic. I've been worried about your legs all afternoon. Go up and lift his trousers legs for him. Looking at her knees, the Queen Mother screamed in surprise. Hey, Lao Wang, look at your legs. I remember your legs were very swollen last night. Why are you like a good person today? End of this chapter.